Hello everybody, how are you doing? Just got home from work. It's Thursday night. I am out in the shop and let me show you what I'm working on. I'm going to be working on an iPhone today. This is my daughter's iPhone and she had it at work and it fell off of a table and the lower half of the screen quit working. This is an iPhone 7 that I bought from someone and I backed her phone up, restored it onto here. Come to find out, this phone cannot make or receive phone calls. So she was really disappointed about that because that's somewhat important to a teenage girl. So what I'm going to do, this phone still makes and receives phone calls. It's just difficult to do with half a screen. So I'm going to take the screen out of this one, We're going to put this screen on this one, and I should have a solid working phone. And I'll throw this one aside, for parts for a future phone if something else comes up missing that I need, a speaker or whatever. We'll just mark the screen as bad. So that's what we're going to do today. I also want to let you guys know, good news. I got the drive belt for the turntable. Bad news, it's in my wife's car and she's not here. She took me over to pick my car up. It got done at the body shop today. They fixed the hood for me, so it looks great. And I'm happy to have it back. But when she dropped me off, I didn't get my stuff out of her car and she took off to run kids. So she'll be home later tonight, probably before I get this fixed. So I'm going to work on this for a while. And then when she comes in, I'll grab that belt and we will see if the turntable works tonight. Well, I've just got back from the phone repair store. I got to taking this phone apart and I have replaced screens and done a lot of work to iPhone 5s, iPhone 6s, even a couple of iPhone 4s. This is the first time I've worked on iPhone 7s, and what they've done is they've gone and changed. They now have this thing called a Y-wing or a tri-Y screw in there. Instead of a Phillips that has like a plus, this is a Y shape. So I had to go buy another pack of screwdrivers. And let me show you. This is stupid. Here's a whole pack of screwdrivers. There's a couple of more in the drawer here. I got 2 on the table. Another one in the bag. I probably got 15 of these stupid screwdrivers, and I had to go buy another set just to get a tri-Y. Crazy. But I think I'm at the point now where I can go ahead and remove and replace the screen. So keep fingers crossed for me. Well, guys, I didn't do very good. See this little piece here, this little ribbon cable? It's normally behind this little ribbon cable. This piece here, I could not get one of the screws out. So I cocked it over this way. When I lifted the screen up, this was sharp enough, it literally severed that cable. And this was the working screen. So, time to go to the next plan. I've got an older iPhone 6 in the house. I just went ahead and plugged it up to get a charge on it. And if we can get a charge, I used to use it in the shop as a camera. If I can get a charge on it, then I'll go ahead and plug it into the laptop and restore all of her stuff to it. Now, I think the only issue is it doesn't have, this has 128 gig, and I think that was like a 64 gig or something like that. So she'll just have to, move her pictures off to like Google Photos or something. She won't be able to keep as many photos on it. But, unfortunately, it is what it is. I mean, that's what I've got right now. She does have a job, so if she wants to pony up some cash and buy a new one, I'll take her to get it. But pretty much, I've got an iPhone 6 if that's what you want. Well, I got the iPhone 6 in the house, restoring her backup. Or actually, right now, it's setting it up as a new iPhone. And then it will restore the backup. What I'm going to do is put all this crap away, bring the turntable back over here, and we're going to try to put the drive belt on. Keep your fingers crossed we have better luck with the drive belt than we did with the iPhone. Here's the new belt. It's just basically a lot like a rubber band, except you don't want to do a lot of stretching with it because you will stretch it out of shape. To install it, we're just going to remove this rubber piece that this gives a little bit of friction to the record so that it doesn't slip on the turntable, cushions it, and then we'll lift this piece out. I'm going to lay the belt around this lip here on the turntable. I'm going to put a finger in here to hold the belt. It's hard to do with the camera in front of you. We'll lay it over this little wheel here on the motor, and then we'll find the center. There we go. That's looks like I got a twist in it. I'm going to go ahead and pull that off and correct that twist. There it is. I see where it's at. We don't need a twist in the belt. Okay, that's a little better. Now we'll put it over a little gear there, and we'll stretch this in there. That looks a lot better. All right, let me plug her in and see what happens. Turntable's plugged in. I'm going to bring the needle over. I guess I should lift it up first. I had to give it a little bit of a push there to get it going. Now that was interesting. It went ahead and retracted. May still be something wrong with it. Let me go ahead. I'm going to put the rubber cover over this, and then I'm going to go grab an album, and we're going to test an album on this and see if that, just see how it sounds. I mean, I don't know if it's even spinning fast enough to play an album, but let's go ahead and drop this on. I'll be right back with an album. I had to move the turntable over a little closer to the stereo so that the cables would reach. Got an album here. We're going to start this up. Okay, I've got it spinning. Let's drop this and see if we get anything. Okay, what you heard there was very fast. That sounds like it's almost running at 45 RPM. So let me try something here. Bring this over. Let's see what happens when we set it to 45. It's even faster. Now I did notice when I had the platen off, there's some settings over here, and I'm wondering if I just need to make an adjustment. So we're going to look into that real quick. Here's what I was referring to. You've got a 45 and a 33. These are a couple of pots, and you can speed up or slow down this motor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the 33, and I'm going to just crank it down a tiny bit. Then we're going to pop the record back on, test. We'll do this a couple of times, and hopefully we can dial it into where the record sounds the way it should. That worked. Okay, that's all I want to play. I don't want to get dinged for that, but it did work. I've got it to where the record sounds, in my mind, like it should. I just had to I removed everything, I adjusted that pot, and I put everything back together, and seems like it did a pretty good job, so it sounds great. So, next up, I need to design and build a little shelf for this thing. And what I want to do is put like just a little shelf below it to where I can lay the album, the album cover, because there's no place to really lay that in the shop. That way the stereo will sit on the top shelf, and there'll be about 2 inches between them, and I can lay 3 or 4 records in there, and the record album cover while it's playing. So we'll start working on designing that here in a minute. I got to go eat some dinner. I'll be back. Catch you in a few. Well, guys, I am back out in the shop. I had a fantastic dinner, but I'm only out here long enough to close the shop down. I was thinking at dinner, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a 5-sided box. Basically, the surface area of the box will be large enough to allow me to set the turntable on it. That'll be on the top of the box. Inside of the box, I'll be able to slide albums in on their side. Maybe, and I'll make it about 2 inches deep so I can stack, a dozen albums or whatever in there. And the back of the box, where the box is closed against the wall, will be a little bit larger so that I can shoot that into a couple of studs on my wall over there on the opposite side. Well, let me show you where I'm going to put it. I think what I'll do is go ahead and move this vent cleaner. That's for cleaning your dryer vent. Get it out of there. And I'll just put the box right there. Turntable will sit on top of it. Below it will be the albums. It'll have plenty of room. You can see it all the way down here for the cables. But so there'll be plenty of room for the cables to make it up to the stereo. And I think that ought to make for a really nice location because it's out of the way of my general work area. There is a scroll saw below it, but if I'm doing scroll saw work, I mean, if it's mounted right here, that should be no problem at all. I'll probably go ahead and draw it up over the course of the next couple days. I'll take some measurements, and then I'll go buy some plywood and build the box. And I think it's going to work out really well there. I'm super excited to have a turntable in the shop. And as I'm listening to music, like I said, I can't play it on the channel because copyright, and I respect that. Those artists deserve their due. They worked hard to produce this music. And but I can talk about it. I can tell you from time to time, hey, today in the shop, I'm listening to whatever. I can show you the album cover. You know, if I got a story about the music, I'll tell you that. So, you know, maybe to add a little interesting twist to the channel, who knows. But that is it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will talk to you again real soon. Have a great evening.